People,
A big part of this is understanding why people buy, the psychology and the things that are going on in there, the story in the side of their head and what they're thinking as you're sharing your information and as you make your invitation. Because there are certain things that have to be triggered for people to want to buy. And usually
hmm
is if they can see the results that they're really looking for, if they can see the value, if they can really see how it's going to help them solve a problem or overcome an obstacle or become who they want to become, like that's what's on their mind. How are you going to help me get this? Well, hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Speakeasy Cafe with Janelle Anderson. I am the virtual events visionary. I'm a business mentor and coach for coaches. This month, we have been talking about my 7-step framework for building a client enrollment workshop. This is the type of workshop you can run monthly and start to see a consistent cash and client flow come into your business. And I have a 7-step framework for it. Now, last week we talked about the first step, which it's an acronym. It spells clients. So C is the first step. We talked about that last time, and that's clarifying your vision for your workshop. What's the goal? What do you want to achieve? But also, who do you want in the room? And what's the one breakthrough you want your attendees to have? So this week is the L. We're going to talk a little bit about leveraging your irresistible offer, because before you ever build your workshop plan or content or any of that, you need to know where you're taking them at the end and what you're going to be offering. So for most coaches, especially newer coaches starting out, that might be a one-on-one coaching package. And maybe your offer in your workshop is a discovery session that's free, but then you're going to offer your package. Sometimes people will sell a package directly in the workshop itself. The workshop needs to be uh, strategically designed so that it naturally leads people to whatever your offer is. So today, I want to give you a couple tips about that, about the offer, how to put one together that is a good one for like a workshop, which is usually a couple of hours, would be a good offer, and how to leverage it, how to position it so that people, when they're in your workshop, are like, oh, yeah, of course I want that. That's naturally the next step after what you shared in your workshop so that it all runs smoothly. So that's the topic today. And if you have any questions, we'll open that up for questions at the end. So one of my very favorite early workshops, and I've been doing workshops since I started my business 11 years ago. And one of my very favorite ones was called How to Talk to Anyone. And I had these workshops at the local library, and then later I moved into a space that I found in my area. But this one was at the local library, How to Talk to Anyone. And it attracted a room full, like it was packed, a room full of mostly women, some men, but they were all self-identifying introverts, and they wanted to learn how to carry on a conversation without feeling awkward. And so we had a lot of fun in that workshop, and I gave them little conversation starters, and we pretended like we were at a mixer or a networking event, and they went around and talking to each other, and then we debriefed afterwards. Super fun. The whole place, they were all talking to everybody. And the local newspaper got involved. They saw the title of the workshop. They sent a reporter and a photographer who got involved also, and they loved it too. And so I had this beautiful article afterwards in the paper, great advertising, room full of people, packed room, and it was great. It was one of the best workshops I ever did. However, even though it was one of my most successful workshops as far as numbers of people in the room, the engagement, and all of that, there was just one small detail. I didn't enroll even one single client out of that workshop. And the reason was that my offer at the time was a coaching program for business owners, for like women entrepreneurs who wanted to start speaking with confidence, right? Who wanted to start promoting their business through speaking. And I had a room full of just no business owners. They were just people who wanted to learn how to have conversations, social conversations. And so the attendees in my event weren't really my ideal audience. They just wanted to feel comfortable talking to people. So that day I realized, okay, my workshop and my offer weren't connected. They were not aligned. And so I couldn't take the content I was teaching and bridge it to something next, right? It didn't go anywhere. There was no destination. And so that experience taught me that one of the most powerful lessons about enrolling new clients is that you want to have an aligned offer. And that's what I want to share with you today and give you a couple of tips. It's one of the most important pieces of doing a virtual event at all. And I know a lot of coaches are doing workshops on all kinds of topics, which is what I used to do without understanding this piece. So alignment matters more than anything. This is probably the most important piece of my entire framework because this is how you're going to make money. This is how you're going to find new clients and enroll them into your program is the offer itself. So you want to think about your workshop as like the front door to your business. It's where people first meet you, right? It's where they get to know you a little bit. They get to experience a little bit of your expertise. They get some kind of breakthrough for themselves. It's the front door. But you want to invite them from the front door into the whole building, which is your coaching program. So your offer that you make in the workshop is the bridge between the front door of where they are now to where they want to be and what they really want. And that would happen inside of your program. So the offer you make in the workshop creates a bridge. It creates a next step. So another analogy is to think of your workshop as the first chapter of a book, and you want to invite them to keep reading, right? So when people attend your workshop, they've already raised their hand saying, I'm interested in that topic. You don't want to use your workshop as just a dumping ground for information. And that was one mistake I made. I just tried to give everybody everything I knew, everything I could think of, and just teach and share and inspire people with my content. But that's not really what it's about. This type of workshop isn't. There are other types of workshops where maybe all you're doing is educating, but this one is an enrollment. It's called a client enrollment workshop. And so it isn't about just giving them a ton of information. It's about guiding them toward a transformation that will continue beyond your workshop. And you want to make it feel so natural that they're taking this journey with you through the workshop. And then it's, of course, the next step. That's how it should feel. So, when the connection is clear and the attendees feel that gap, that your offer is a bridge over a gap. The gap is they're here around whatever topic it might be. Let's say it's health and wellness, right? They're here. Maybe they're in a lot of pain. I know one of my clients deals with gut health. So her clients are struggling with a lot of gut issues. And, so you want to think about that front door of where they first meet you in terms of what are they struggling with? What's the problem they're dealing with? What's the pain point? And where do they want to be? Well, they want to be pain-free, or they want their digestive system to work properly, not have gut health problems anymore, but be able to eat whatever they want, right? All that kind of stuff. Everything's working good. So that's the goal. And they're always thinking about results and what do they want, not so much process, not your process, not even coaching. It's that result that they want. They want a solution. And they're going to get that by working with you. So the gap is where they are now to where they want to be. And that workshop content is meant to align with any limiting beliefs they have about can they really get to that solution. And your teaching points in your workshop are hitting on those and saying, yeah, here's the solution. And that solution, of course, is to work with you for however many sessions. And in the workshop, you're giving them one piece of that. You want them to have one breakthrough, one aha moment. It's like an appetizer, right? And the full meal is working with you. So you don't want to give them a ton of information. You want to get them just enough for them to feel like they've had that one step, but they now see oh, there's this gap. I need more. I need guidance. I need coaching. I need support. I need, I need the coach's help, right? So that's the natural next step, so that it's so much easier for them to say yes, because it's so obviously the next step, but they've had that chance to connect with you and get to know you a little bit. That's the beauty and the power of and I talk about virtual workshops now, because the virtual event industry is huge. It's booming. It's a $400 billion industry globally. So why shouldn't we as coaches be taking advantage of that and getting a part of that and getting a piece of that? So you're in a virtual room with potential clients that are all over the world, and they're getting to know you and meet you and have an experience with you. So you're taking them through the content, which is designed for that offer. And so you position the offer as the continuation of what they just started with you. It's not a sales pitch, it's an invitation into the transformation that they really want, that solution they're really looking for. And use stories and examples throughout your workshop to show what's possible, keeping in mind what they're feeling and maybe some of the limiting beliefs they might have around that. And then you're painting a vision for them of what's possible, so that they can begin to believe that and see, oh gosh, wow, I want to be there, and I need bridge. So you position your offer all through the workshop. You are planting seeds. You don't just wait to the end. You sprinkle it in, things like, hey, in my program, we go even deeper into this part. Or my clients that work with me, we do this with them. We spend more time around this, or I take them even deeper. And so all throughout, you're like dropping those little seeds. Like, in my program, we do this, or this is how I work with my clients. And so they're starting to see, oh, wow, yeah, that would be great if I could have that. And these little seeds that you're planting start to create that openness in in your attendees' minds of, yeah, maybe I do want this. I'm really interested in finding out what this program is. And so they've almost sold themselves into your program before you've ever even really walked them through it. That's the secret formula. If you see people, running workshops out there and they're enrolling people left and right, or any kind of virtual event, any kind of event, and their people are raising their hands and signing up, it's because they have been sprinkling in the offer all throughout. Every piece of content is intentionally and strategically placed to point people towards that offer, because it's only when they work with you can they really have transformation. People can't get a full transformation in a 2-hour workshop. They can get a little taste, but they can't get the fullness of it. And you can add in your own story as well. I highly recommend. There's 3 types of stories. I don't have time to go into that, but definitely share your own story of why you do what you do, and how it worked for you and how it's worked for your clients. And for example, one story I could drop here is the first time that my offer truly aligned with my workshop. It was magical. People didn't need convincing. They were ready and they signed up, and I started making hundreds and thousands of dollars in my events. So you could drop in a little tidbit like that. The first time that I did this happened. Or the first time one of my clients did this, or, I have a client who started here and now they're here. And so that is also opening up that belief. It's painting the picture for them of what's possible for them. So, one of the mindset shifts that I went through when I discovered this piece, because I had been doing workshops for years and I was focused on the content. Oh, let me do this topic. This would be interesting. But it wasn't really in alignment with everything else. Like, it didn't follow the path of what's next in my client journey. So my workshops were just about teaching and inspiring. But I had to change my workshop to be, it's not just teaching and serving and inspiring, but it's also to enroll them, invite them into the logical, natural next step. So it's a natural continuation. And so people don't feel sold to, they feel supported and served. And sometimes, we as coaches struggle a lot with selling and making offers and asking for money. But the mindset shift there is you're not trying to convince anyone to work with you. You are simply inviting them into the next step. You've given them value in your workshop. You've helped them with one piece of it, and you're just inviting them to take the next step on the journey that they've already started so that they can get to that solution that they're really looking for and they really want. So just as an action step this week, I invite you to take a few minutes and just reflect on this question sometime this week. The question is, what program or service or offer should your workshop lead to? And why is it the perfect next step? Do some brainstorming around that. Think about your program. Think about what you do with your clients in your coaching. What would be your offer? Could be a course, it could be a coaching program, could be a couple of VIP days. There's all kinds of different offers that could be made. Think about what would make the most sense. Maybe you're going to invite them into a discovery session, into one-on-one coaching with you. Even a free one-on-one session should be considered like a paid offer in the way that you present it. You still want to make it be the logical next step. Why is that the logical next step? What will they get from that session with you? You don't want to set it up as I'm just going to invite you into a session where I'm going to sell coaching. No, this is a session where we're going to go a little deeper and you're going to get this, personalized result in that session with me. And yes, if we're a good match and a good fit, I'll offer my coaching. If you see value in our time together, then I will, if you are interested, right, I'll share my program with you. And if it's a good fit, so they do know that that's coming, but the discovery session, it's still an event in itself that they will get something special out of. People are always thinking, why should I sign up to have a discovery session with you? Why should I spend my time with you? If you're just going to try and sell me something, then I don't want that, right? So you still position that offer. It's still an offer. So if your workshop helps people take the first step in something, then your offer should help them finish that journey or take it further. And before we wrap up, too, I want to just invite you to take the next step with me if you are interested in learning more about my client's framework and about how to put together an enrollment workshop that becomes the consistent cash and client flow system for your business. I want to invite you to my workshop, it's next week, October 29th. It's called a Virtual Edge Workshop. And I'm going to walk you through my 7-step clients framework in a lot more detail. We're going to talk more about the offer. We're going to talk about how to structure that content, how to promote it and get people there. And I'll give you the entire framework. So it's free. I'm going to drop the link in the chat here in a minute. And if you're watching this video, the link will be in the comments below. So when your workshop and offer align, just remember this. You don't have to push for sales. It doesn't have to be awkward. Your clients will walk across that bridge to work with you when you have strategically and intentionally designed your workshop in that way. So I would love to hear from those of you here in the room, but before I do that, let me go ahead and drop this link in the chat. And I see there's a question in here. Awesome. I love questions. It is virtualedgeworkshop.com. All right. So, and if you've been watching this video, just subscribe to my channel. I'd love to hear from you. And thanks so much for watching. All right, we're going to open it up now. If anybody has any questions or comments, I do have a question here in the chat. Can you give an example of what it looks like to invite someone to take the next step? Oh, great question. Yeah. So let's say, for example, that let's say there's a coach who's a relationship coach and they work with couples and communication. And maybe they do a workshop around communication and they have just some little tips to give them. But their offer is a 3-month coaching program to help the couples really communicate well, so that they're not fighting anymore, and they're spending more time together, and they feel closer than they ever have. So what could that type of workshop look like? It could be uh, aligned with, remember, you want to align your teaching points with any limiting beliefs they might have. So let's say the couple has this belief that every time we talk, we argue. And so what's the point of talking? That's a limiting belief. So the coach needs to offer a tip and a little teaching to switch that to, oh, conflict is something that we can work through if we just talk, like it doesn't have to end in an argument. A conflict itself is not bad. So the coach would teach a little bit about that, maybe give them a short little prompt to think about what's one area in our relationship where we always fight, and how could we reframe that to open up the conversation a little bit. So they've already had a little bit there of a breakthrough in just one little tip, and they work through it inside the workshop, so they've had a breakthrough. So the way that would lead to the offer, and she's going to give like 3 teaching points, is as she's talking about this communication piece and working through the conflict and reframing things, she'd say something like, now, when couples work with me in my program, we go in depth around this, and we have lots of time where we practice and we role play, and we actually bring in the conflicts in their marriage and actually talk through them with me in the room, so that I'm coaching. And so she's just dropped a seed, right? Then she goes to the next one. The next teaching point could be something around, I don't even, we're so busy. We're so busy, we don't have time to feel close to each other anymore. So then the coach could work through that and say, well, let's come up with 3 different little micro moments you could add into your day to spend time together, like coffee in the morning or texting each other. What would be some things you guys could do? And she would work through that. Now, in my program, when couples work with me, we come up with strategies, and every week, the couples work through one of these, and they come back and report on it. So she'd drop a seed again, like giving them that picture of, oh, we could do this now and come up with a couple things, but gosh, if we were working with this coach, it would become a practice every week, and we'd have a chance to talk through what worked and what didn't work and get coaching. So they're already starting to see the benefit. So by the time she gets to the end of the workshop, she's going to say something like, wow, we have had a couple of really major breakthroughs in this workshop. Put in the chat what you got out of this. What was your one major takeaway? Put that in the chat. So people are putting that in the chat, right? Just imagine if you worked with me for 3 months, imagine how much more we could accomplish. And I want you to imagine what your relationship would be like in 3 months if we were working through this conflict or whatever it might be, right? And that's what I do with my clients. This is what we do. And then she would start talking about her program. We do this, we do that. I take them through this assessment, or I take them through this practice, and we spend time doing this. I give them, so then she started talking about what's in her program. And then she would just say, hey, if that's if that's something that you really want, just go ahead and click on the link. Or she might say, what I'd like to offer you all today is a one-on-one session with me, couples, because she might have like several couples in the workshop. Each couple, I want to offer a strategy session where we could talk about what's for you, specifically for you, and go deeper. And then we could discuss what it would be like to work with me as your coach. So she could do it either way, but that's how you do it. You've already been talking about it. It's just a natural next step to say, imagine what we could do if you worked with me. So here's what it looks like. And I want to invite you to sign up. We're going to invite you to book a call with me. Hopefully that answered your question, Melna. Awesome. All right. Anybody else? That was a great question, by the way. Really great question. Anybody else have any questions or comments that you would like to make? Feel free to just unmute and.
Hello, Janelle.
Hey,
This
Madhuri.
has been amazing. For me, recently, last week, I had a master class where
Mm-hmm.
I have been a motivational coach and I used to do things for free where my intention was to teach, share.
Mm-hmm.
And now from the last year, I became a coach and that is not going away from me. So I did a master class for 90 minutes. I had 104 signups
Wow.
and 30 people showed up because I did not plan it well. It was a holiday season, like Diwali for Indians. Many customers are Indians, and it was a long weekend for the kids where many families went on vacation. So in spite of that, 30 people signed up, and a lot of people messaged me that, "Can you send me a recording? I missed it."
Mm-hmm.
For me, I made a mistake of putting that. I really liked what you said, where I said enrollment call. I shouldn't have said enrollment call. I should have said discovery call or a strategy call.
Yeah.
Enrollment call means I think I already scared them by saying you should pay your money for this. If you're not ready to pay, don't come here.
Yeah.
So that is the just now by looking at your hearing what you said, and I really loved. Thanks, Melna, for asking that question. I really liked how you helped answer her question. That really gave me a lot of insight. And yeah, I think just now I had that breakthrough that it is important of the words that you use. Carefully choose the words that you use, otherwise you might
Yeah.
not people.
A big part of this is understanding why people buy, the psychology and the things that are going on in there, the story inside of their head and what they're thinking as you're sharing your information and as you make your invitation, because there are certain things that have to be triggered for people to want to buy. And usually
Mhm.
is if they can see the results that they're really looking for, if they can see the value, if they can really see how it's going to help them solve a problem or overcome an obstacle or become who they want to become, like that's what's on their mind. How are you going to help me get this? And a lot of times we focus too much on our on coaching itself or our own methodology, and they don't care about that. They care about, can you help me solve my problem? So really positioning it that way. But I wanted to say, if you had 104 registrations and 30 people showing up, that is an excellent show up rate. Excellent,
Yeah,
because it people aren't all the people that register are not going to show up. You usually get
yeah,
20 to 30% of who registers in the room with you, unless you do a really good job. And there is a strategy for in the promotion of it. There's one side where you're promoting people to sign up, and then the other side is the people that have signed up, getting them to come. So you have to continue to remind them and invite them and entice them, because people sign up all the time and don't show up. And then they
yeah,
want the recording, which is fine, but that doesn't really help you because you need to have them in the room with you to create that connection. Sometimes people will buy from watching a recording, but most of the time they don't, and most people don't even watch the recording, even though they want to.
yeah, yeah. That's true.
But
Thank you.
great
Thank you
job.
very much.
That's excellent. Yeah.
Thank you.
And what you want to do is just keep refining, keep doing the workshops and look at what went well and what didn't go well. That's another part of my framework. Look at what happened, get feedback, tweak it a little bit, run it again. Because the more that you do that, the more you'll learn what works and what doesn't work. And by the end of it, you have this workshop that people want to come to and that converts really well and becomes like an asset for your business. It becomes something you can promote through other partners can promote it for you. And you just run it every single month and put it in front of different audiences. And it just builds your email list, it builds your following, it builds your credibility, it builds your visibility, and you're consistently attracting new people. So it works really well. It's a great strategy and method for coaches, especially. So don't give up. Some people will do a workshop and it doesn't work, and they're like, oh, well, that didn't work. I'm going to throw the whole thing out and start all over. And I'm always like, don't do that. Awesome. Any other questions? I'm
Can I
curious
ask
to
one
see.
more?
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Milna. Sure.
So I like Madari, I like teaching, facilitating, doing workshops, and it's really hard to not give away everything.
Hmm.
I try really hard. I go back over my content and I look at it from all angles, and still I'm giving away everything in the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
and I just haven't figured out how to pull back or
Mm-hmm.
to only give. Someone else told me, just give a happy meal.
Yeah,
Give the whole meal.
right. I
I
talk
haven't
about an
been able to.
appetizer. Yeah, give an appetizer. I've had the same struggle over and over again because I'm a teacher. And even now, I still am paring down. But the way that I teach it is to think, I call it the one thing principle. In your workshop, you want to teach one thing. And it's so hard, but that if you can narrow it down to think of one insight, one breakthrough that they could have. And then your content is 3 little steps to that one thing. And then that one thing is like the appetizer to your program. And the thing that really helps me with that is realizing, because I used to pack my workshops with so much stuff, so much content, and people at the end of it, they would look at me like deer in headlights, like, oh my gosh, yeah, my mind's blown. I've got to go away and spend a month digesting what you just gave me. So I can't sign up for your program because I have to learn this first. And you give them that feeling like, I can't go on with you because what you just gave me, I have to go unpack that first. And when I started realizing that, I was like, oh my gosh, all this stuff I'm giving them should be part of my bigger program. And if I can get them to feel full and satisfied, like, oh, I had a little taste, that was so good. I had a chance to interact. And when you only pare it down to one little thing, you give yourself time to get them interacting with you and doing stuff with you because now you have time. And it's amazing how much deeper you can go over one small thing that you think is like the smallest step ever. It's not small to them. But if you spend time, like, let's do a little exercise. I'm going to give you a few minutes to work on this, and then I'm going to put you in a breakout room, and then we're going to open it up for discussion. It's amazing how much they will get out of that. Yes, like I'm doing right now. I do a 3-day event as well. I have a 3-day event coming up in November, which also there's a free admission to that. And there's a $47 VIP ticket, but it's 3 days on. What we're going to do is actually take my framework and build the workshop together over 3 days, including the offer and your promotional strategy and your content and everything. So you guys are definitely invited to come. That's my offer in the workshop, but it is open right now for I'll just put this in here, virtual events. It's usually $47 to come to it, but right now I'm offering a free general admission ticket. But anyway, in that one time I was running that event and I had somebody helping me, coaching me through it because I was always giving so much. And what I would end up doing is create what they call false closure. And by the end of the event, people felt like, oh, I have everything I need now. Thanks. I can go do this on my own. Instead of signing up for my program where we would actually build their business, they felt like they had everything they needed because I was giving them too much. So this one session in the event was about promotion. And I was going to run down all the different ways you could promote an event in this one session. And she's like, no. Give them it, just sort of like use brackets. So you say, you could do this, 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 and this, but right now we're going to focus on one of these. I just listed all of them, but we're going to focus in on just one strategy. And I said, how am I going to talk about that one strategy for an hour and a half? That's how long the session was. She goes, well, you're not. What you're going to do is you're going to share a little bit about it. And then you're going to ask them to brainstorm how they could use it and have them put the brainstorming ideas in the chat. And then you're going to have them go to a breakout room and brainstorm with each other. And then you're going to have them come back and share with you what came out of it. So we spent an hour and a half around this one little piece that I teach. And everybody loved it. And they felt like they got so much out of it because they were able to chew on it and digest it and absorb it and talk about it and brainstorm around it. And that's one of the ways that helped me to not give so much is to remember if I give them one little piece and let them kind of work on it and digest it, they're going to get much more out of it than if I try to give them everything that just kind of like goes over their head and they can't really grasp it. So hopefully that helps, Melna. That was one thing that really helped me. And I still have to remind myself of that. I still feel like my workshop is packed full, but what I do is since I'm teaching my whole framework, I'll show the whole framework And then I'll pick out 1 or 2 pieces and go into it a little bit more and have them brainstorm with me a little bit, and then invite them to the event where now we're going to walk through every piece over 3 days. And then in my event, that I'm offering my year-long program where we're going to build your business around that workshop. So you see how that progresses from a small step to a next step to a next step. And all through that, you're using events, because a workshop is an event, a one-on-one session is an event, a summit is an event, a three-day conference is an event. Or it's the container for you to offer. It's the container where you bring your potential clients together, interact with them, let them experience and have a great time, and then you're making an offer. It's so much more effective than just trying to make an offer in a post on social media or in an email, or even videos on social media, because videos are good because they get to hear you and see you, but they're not interacting with you. They're not able to ask questions and have you, coach them a little bit. And people crave connection. I ask people all the time, why do you come to virtual events? It's always, I want to make a connection and I want to learn. Those are the 2 reasons. And they want to be seen and heard and valued, and they want to interact. They want to have a part in it. They don't want to just sit and watch. Hopefully that's helpful. Yeah. How many of you, just kind of wave at me if you are already doing virtual events? I know Maduri said she did her masterclass. Milna, that's Monica. Awesome. Good. No? How are they going for you? Are they converting well? Are you getting new clients? Are you making money, getting people signed up?
People are signing up. I think 58 were signed up for my last event. 1 person showed up.
Oh,
Uh,
wow. Out of 58. Okay.
And it goes back to I have built, like you said, on mine is built on 3 pain points of the people I coach. I coach leaders,
Okay.
executive leaders.
Oh, okay.
Um, but I give away a lot, and I'm trying to pull back on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure what else is lacking. My messaging has changed. Everything's changed. I've got a coach, and we're working really hard at it, but
Good. Good.
they're just not
Hmm.
showing up. They sign up, but they don't show
Yeah.
up.
So yeah, I would look at your strategy for the after they sign up. What are you doing to get them there? So there's a lot of things you can do. Um, One of the things that's really effective is, and you can have someone do this for you, is to call them. Actually, call the people that have registered. Yeah, their phone numbers. Call them and text them. But the calling, even if you just leave a voicemail, hey, I saw that you signed up for my workshop. I'm so excited. Can't wait to see you there. We just wanted to know we are looking forward to having you there. What's one thing you really want to get out of this workshop? Send me a message and let me know, because I want to make sure, and that and texting, and also go and see if you can find them on social media and make friends with them, like LinkedIn or Facebook, and send them a direct message and say, "Oh, I just saw you signed up. I can't wait to see you there. What's one thing you want to get out of my workshop?" Or what have you marked your calendar? And then you can have a campaign of reminder emails, and each one you're giving them a little bit more of, oh, we're going to do this, or here's a sneak peek. Here's something we're going to talk about. Here's something somebody said about the event last time they came. Um, Offer a bonus, bring a friend prize. I mean, there's so many things that you can do to keep reminding them, because sometimes people will sign up and they just forget. They get busy and they're like, but if you think about advertising on TV, or like a trailer for a movie, like people keep it in front, they keep it in front of you until it happens. Or an event, a concert's coming up. They don't just put one blast out there. They're continually like, oh, don't forget, this is coming. And trying to build that excitement, and always keeping in mind that they're thinking, why should I spend my time with you? Because time is the most valuable resource people have. So you've got to give them a reason to come and spend their time. And it needs to be something that they want and they need, like that. What's it going to do for them? Keep it all focused, not so much, oh, this is my content I'm going to teach, but no, this is what you're going to get out of it. This is what you're going to walk away with. This is what it's going to do for you. If your messaging is aimed at that, that helps a lot too. So you might want to look at that strategy and just come up with, I always tell people, make sure you have a promotional calendar and you decide, I'm going to put this tweet out here, or I'm going to put this little preview video, short reel about it here on these dates. After the people register, I'm going to send them these emails, strategically. I'm going to do a calling campaign and have it all mapped out. So you're not like just trying to randomly do things to promote. You have a plan of action, and that helps a lot.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck with that. You also want to look at the title of your workshop and the subtitle. It needs to speak to results. Yeah. So unless I see your stuff, I can't tell you more specifically, but if you come to my workshop, maybe we can, or come to the event, it would be even better.
To the event?
Yeah, so I have an
Okay.
event, I put the link in
Yeah.
there. It's November 19th through the 21st. And it's free to come to it, but if you sign up as a VIP, which is only $47, it's usually $144. Right now it's all early bird. But you will get 2 master classes before the event where we're going to dive into promotion in depth. I have a whole PDF book. I give everybody tons and tons of ideas of promotion. It's called the Packed House Playbook. And we spend one of those sessions on the title and subtitle, which are very important. And then you also get access to my 4-part series on stories that you should tell in your workshop. And you can just go watch those videos. It has some worksheets and stuff. It's what I teach my clients, actually. And then during the event, there's going to be 2 VIP sessions of the first 2 days that only VIPs come to. And plus, you get all the recordings. So you can go back through them whenever you want. So it's it's way worth more. Even one of those master classes is worth way more than $47. So I highly recommend that event if you want to, because we're going to put together your workshop piece by piece and show you how to fit it into your business model to grow your business. So if that's what you want to do as a coach, you want to do more events and master classes and workshops and things like that, that's the best event. I've been on event teams for years and seen how it all works behind the scenes. I help people do big events, so there's a lot of strategy to it, and I'm going to teach during those 3 days a lot of that. So you'll actually walk away with your blueprint of your workshop. What's the outcome? What's the offer? We're going to work through that. How do I lead people to the offer? What are some engagement pieces I can do to keep people engaged? How am I going to promote it? How am I going to get people there? And how do I systemize it and scale it? And how do I, inside the room, the tech that I need, and the team, that kind of stuff. So every piece of my framework you're going to get. But the workshop is next week, and that's just kind of an overview of the whole framework, and I'll touch on a couple of pieces. And then the offer in that workshop is going to be the event. So you guys got a step ahead. All right. Well, this has been great. Any other questions before I let you go? Was this
No,
helpful?
thank you very much. I already am sold. I signed up for your workshop and bootcamp.
Yay!
I'm really looking forward to, I'm part of another high ticket master marketing program, but yours is way different and I connect with you much more.
Yeah.
So I'm getting out of that program November 11th. So after that, I think I
Good.
can, based on what your offer is, and after attending these events, I think I'll decide to enroll into yours.
Oh, I would love to have you in mine. Yes. And we can do this all together and get everything working really well for you. Awesome.
Yeah, because what I have is 104 signups. I have 164 email list. Every time, third master class, first master class, I have 40 people signed up, but 12 people joined. And most of them were my family and friends. They wanted to see what I'm doing, curious.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The second time I did master class, some actual parents, my ideal client joined, but they got so much. I pack my and I speak so fast, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like I'm on the verge
You
of
probably gave them that false
quitting.
signature, that sense of, oh, I have enough now. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
And I didn't get any signups after that. And the third masterclass I did, it was on 18th, and I had 104 signups. So I clearly I'm good at marketing and getting people sign up. Whatever I'm
Yep.
saying, it is catching their pulse.
Yeah.
But once they come and I've followed up, and I think I have a plan on how to like get signups. My need is, how do I convert them? What do I do post the meeting
Yep.
or during
Yep.
the call that, and it was very interactive. A lot of people showed interest. They're like, oh, I have this, I have that. Clearly very good. But I think what I lack is post the event.
Yeah. That's
What
T
do
in
I
the
do?
client framework. That's T. It stands for turn your attendees into clients. It's your follow-up strategy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would love to see more of what you have to give, and I think I'll end up your client, definitely, for sure.
Oh, I hope so. Yay. Sounds wonderful. All right.
Thank you,
good.
Janelle.
And
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And I will see you guys at the workshop, I hope, next week, and the event in November. And of course, every Monday I'm here doing this. So glad you guys came. It was so good to meet you all.
Thank
And
you.
also, if you know any other coaches that need this, let them know. You're welcome. You guys have a good day. Bye-bye.